One of the other thematic areas that CAS, our hosts, want us to explore is actually the quality of participation in political processes. That is the major thematic area here. And for that one, I would like to tell a story. I started the first conversation by saying that I was born in 1968, and I am, people did the calculation. But according to maybe some of members of parliament, I might calculate my age at 44, but never mind. 54, and you can even see the gray hair is already there. And I use that to ask you the question, who are the people who are participating in this space? We established that the elderly tend to dominate at parliament. But that might not be the case at local council level. But that is an assignment. We can establish the facts. What are the facts? Now, what are the facts in terms of quality of participation? I'm going to tell you a story about my late father. My late father was Engineer George William Owaraga. He was for a very long time the Engineer-in-Chief, Ministry of Works, but also became the permanent secretary of Ministry of Works. And by the time he died, he was a very highly regarded advisor. He was the one in charge of building Entebbe International Airport, and he then became on the board of Civil Aviation Authority, very highly consulted. So when he was an engineer-in-chief, there were roadworks taking place. Of course, he's the one who approves these contracts, signs off on these contracts, ensures that the contractors come. Those days, contractors mostly used to come from abroad. It was not the local contractors. So the contractors would come from abroad, the bosses would come from abroad, the equipment would come from abroad. They will set up a camp where these people are going to be. Maybe locals will be hired to come and assist with the roadworks, okay? So it was the Tororo-Busia Road, if you have ever gone to the east. So they brought, and this farm had been hired, equipment is on the ground, the camp has been built, workers are being fed, but there was no work happening. So this story was told to me by somebody. So my father visited the site, and then he asked, hey, I see everything is on the ground. The people are there, the machines are there. What is the problem? Why isn't the road works taking place? And then he was told, we are waiting for the T-shirts which are branded before the work begins. Huh? Are you hearing that story? We are waiting for the T-shirts which are branded before we begin to do the work. I'm told this story by somebody else. So then my father said, oh, so the T-shirts are the most important thing that is needed for the work to start. And then he asked them, if you need to go to hospital right now, will you go, will the T-shirt take you there, or will the road take you there? If you lost someone now, and there was a funeral, will the T-shirt take you to that funeral, or will the road take you to that funeral? And then he said, if those T-shirts are extremely important, then they should have been the first ones to arrive, isn't it? Now, since the most important ingredient has not arrived, you go away until the important things arrive, the T-shirts, isn't it? And then we start doing the work. Within 15 minutes, the road work started, with people wearing normal shirts without wearing the T-shirts. You understand? Are we together? Have you understood that story? I want to tell you another story when he was permanent secretary, then we will go into quality of participation. Another story was, I met a man after my father's death, and he recognized me and said, oh, you're the daughter of the late engineer. I said, yes. He said, I used to love to work with your dad. And I said, why? He said, your father had a philosophy as permanent secretary, that he always paid attention to, has the work been done? If he saw a worker at the end of that day, the work has been finished, but he's carrying an empty jerry can which was used maybe for paint or for whatever, he would not disturb you because the work has already been what? Are you seeing my point? So even if there was a little leftover paint in the jerry can, and he sees a worker carrying it away, and the work has been done, he would not pay much attention to that little bit of paint. Because even if that little bit of paint would stay, it would get spoiled, isn't it? But if the worker is going maybe also to paint their little house, he wouldn't pay attention. He would only pay attention and he would ask the question, has the work been? And in what quality? But many of us sometimes, we pay attention to that jerry can, and we count the jerry cans, isn't it? You can even see the empty jerry cans are here. This is the accountability, isn't it what we do? But has the work been? So, using those two stories, let us rate our participation. Is the story that I told of my father, which happened long time ago, still happening now, where something is held up because of something that is not so important?